Big changes in Formula One after, in a brief statement, the FIA stated that race director Niels Wittich will step down immediately and be replaced by a new person. And it seems that this fast change might be the result of a direct problem between the ex-race director and the FIA president Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Let's see what happened. Almost without warning, the FIA announced that Wittich will no longer be the race director of Formula One. The governing body released a statement soon after this. The FIA can confirm that Niels Wittich has stepped down from his position as F1 race director to pursue new opportunities, read the statement. Niels has fulfilled his numerous responsibilities as race director with professionalism and dedication. We thank him for his commitment and we wish him the best for the future. F2 and F3 race director Rui Marx will take his place, replacing him with a brand new individual who has no prior F1 expertise. Rui Marquez will assume the role of race director from the Las Vegas Grand Prix, the FIA confirmed. Rui brings a wealth of experience, having previously served as track marshal, scrutineer, national and international steward, deputy race director, and race director in various championships. The question of whether Wittich's resignation was made on his own terms or not is evident given the suddenness of the news and the fact that it was made just before the season ended. While Wittich has been described by Germany's motorsport magazine as stressing that he did not resign from his position and was notified of his dismissal just before to official confirmation, the FIA did not explicitly address this issue. The decision to go with immediate effect was confusing given that only 3 races remain in the 2024 Formula One Championship. According to Sky F1 correspondent Slater, Wittich was pushed out rather than stepping down, as alleged by the FIA. Senior sources have told me that he has effectively been sacked, that there wasn't a volition in terms of him deciding to leave his job with 3 races to go. That is obviously contrary to what the FIA have put out in their statement, the pundit told Sky Sports News. What I have also learned, and this has been explained to me by several sources, is that the relationship between Wittich and the FIA president Mohammed Ben Sulayem was also somewhat at odds, and that has been a contributory factor. Going on to say that the teams were taken aback by the FIA's decision since it is an unusual choice to change horses. At this point in time, Slater speculates that Wittich's decisions when rain pelted the Interlagos circuit during the Brazilian Grand Prix may have been the last straw. Wittich has been under some scrutiny, he said. We can look back at Interlagos and what happened there, and even in events preceding that. Amid heavy rain at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, there were times perhaps when maybe the red flag ought to have been activated earlier on. I've spoken to some individuals who felt that Wittich's judgment was perhaps lacking for some of these crucial decisions. The recent stewards' judgments at the US and Mexican Grands Prix, which influenced the title fight between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, may also have had a role. Was his relationship with the race stewards a bit problematic? Questioned Slater. Did that surface in Austin when there was all that controversy about the way Max Verstappen races, particularly in defense? Wittich corroborated Slater's claims that he was fired, telling Motorsport magazine, "I have not resigned." The report went on to say that the 52-year-old was only informed of his dismissal minutes before the announcement. The FIA has already announced his replacement, Rui Marx, who will take over as Formula One's race director, beginning with the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Rui brings a wealth of experience, having previously served as track marshal, scrutineer, national and international steward, deputy race director, and race director in various championships, read the FIA statement. Most recently, he held the position of Formula 2 and Formula 3 race director. Although it's not ideal for the top tier of motorsport, starting over with a different race director and no prior Formula 1 expertise or transitional time seems to be mostly self-inflicted. Wittich was nearing the end of his second season as the sole F1 race director, having taken over the post full-time at the start of 2023 after a season in which the FIA experimented with a race director rotation following Abu Dhabi 2021. The reason for this was Michael Masi's untenable position following the events of that race, in which questionable decision-making under the rules had a direct impact on the outcome of the title duel between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Masi had been a firm hand at the tiller at that point, finishing his third season in charge and establishing an air of authority and certainty. Masi had been an apprentice of the late Charlie Whiting. whose tragic death at the 2019 Australian Grand Prix ended his 22-year tenure in charge of enforcing and shaping F1's rulebooks. Masi was the heir apparent and did well for the most part, until the events of that tragic night at the Yas Marina circuit shattered that credibility and forced the FIA to start over. Having Masi in the job would undercut its authoritative position. While Wittich is not directly responsible for the stewards' decisions at individual Grand Prix weekends, despite being in close contact with the chairman of the stewards throughout, he is closely tied to the administration of the rules and the policing ethos instilled by FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem. If Wittich has been fired, the question is what he did to cause it, with recent stewarding calls resulting in accusations of bias against individual drivers, as well as the Grand Prix Drivers Association directly requesting that Ben Sulayem change his methods of communication with professional athletes. Could Wittich have expressed dissatisfaction with the governing body's direction? Butting heads with FIA leadership, as with any job, is a certain way to jeopardize your position. After all, Wittich is just the latest in a long line of FIA departures in recent years. Last month, Director of Communications Luke Skipper and Secretary General for Mobility Jacob Bangsgaard also left for new possibilities, while Natalie Robin, the governing body's first CEO, resigned in late 2022 after Ben Sulayem appointed her. In late 2022, Sporting Director Steve Nielsen left to be replaced by Tim Mallions, while single-seater technical director Tim Goss was replaced by Nicholas Tombazis. But Wittich is not the only one leaving the F1 world, as Greg Maffei, CEO of Formula One owners Liberty Media, will step down at the end of 2024. Maffei has decided not to continue his current contract with the company, which has owned Formula One since taking over the competition in early 2017. The outgoing CEO was instrumental in Liberty's acquisition of Formula One, with the business helping the sport reach new heights in viewership through calendar extension, as well as the acquisition of the global hit series Drive to Survive. Liberty Media announced that it will acquire MotoGP, bringing the premier series in motorsport on both 2 and 4 wheels under its control. Maffei stated, "The almost 20 years I have spent at the helm of Liberty Media have been incredibly rewarding, stimulating, and endlessly eventful. Following today's announcements at Liberty Media and Liberty Broadband, all the Liberty acquisitions completed during my tenure are now in structures where shareholders can have more direct ownership in their upside. The corporate structure is optimized, and the portfolio companies are in strong positions with talented executive teams in place. While it's never easy to leave an organization as dynamic as Liberty, I am confident that this is the right time. I have thoroughly enjoyed working alongside and learning from John, our board, the management teams at Liberty, and across the family of companies and our shareholders." So what do you think? Is the FIA slowly collapsing in the leadership of Ben Sulayem? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more F1 news.